I just really, really don't want to go, but I'm not going to cancel on her an hour before our class. So I went and had my class and I came back and I felt ecstatic. I'm really at a point where dancing or singing or talking to people just makes me like, I feel high. I just feel like I'm high on a substance. And it's amazing. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Awakened Poho podcast with Claire Poho. Today, Kirsty and I share about a season we are both currently in. It revolves around not listening to our minds and instead overcoming our resistance by doing things we don't necessarily feel like doing. We have recently been finding this to be an absolute game changer, leading to not just success and progress, but also pure joy and ecstatic bliss. We discuss our motivation and resilience to push ourselves through discomfort. When we realize that we could either do the thing now and learn from it and become the next version of ourselves, or we could wait and waste 10 years, well, to us, the choice is kind of clear. We explain why speaking authentically from the imperfect place that we are at has so much value and power. On the other hand, we also touch upon the importance of honoring our inner cycles and stages in our creation process as well as in our personal and professional lives. The two of us are currently both in this stage, but that doesn't mean that pushing through resistance is what you should currently be doing. So listen to your own inner voice always. We also talk about why taking a break and relaxing into the past can unlock new levels of creativity, skill, and motivation. It's a valuable one, folks, so even if you don't feel like it, I recommend you just listen anyways. Enjoy and thank you. Today, we're excited to talk about something that we connected over. I was talking to Kirsty a week or two ago, and she's sharing an experience with me that she's just been through. A few days later, the same idea sort of really resonated with me. And so I thought it would be a great topic for us to talk about. I was talking to Kirsty and she was like, I saw this quote and it just changed my week. I'll let you tell the story, yeah?
It's all about not feeling like doing it, but going to do it anyways. So I woke up one Saturday morning and I was just in a down and I felt terrible. I don't know why. You don't know why. And that's another irritation that comes. Then you go even deeper into the slump. Like, why am I feeling this? I shouldn't have a reason for this. So anyway, I was just demobilized. And I opened my phone at some point and I saw a friend of mine posted that Frank Sinatra did not like to sing this song, but he sang it anyway. And it did something to me. Like it was like an arrow that just went straight into my system. And the revelation of that was that I just have found out that there was this gym right next to me and there's a swimming pool and there's, just a lovely place. So I said to myself, okay, I don't feel like going. I don't feel like getting off the bed. I don't feel like doing anything, but I'm going to go anyways. And the power of that I experienced when they have this little track, you walk around. And when I was just walking there and I went swimming and they have sauna. So I went to sauna and it changed my whole perspective within myself. It changed my chemistry. It changed my emotions. It changed my inspiration. It changed everything. And not just for that day, but the whole week. It was almost like I was riding on that power the whole week.
Wow.
Actually, I have ever since. I cannot tell you what exactly happened and why it happened and how am I going to now guide somebody else to that same place. But the experience was so powerful that I've been able to tap into this joy ever since. Every single day I feel this joy that my mind goes like, what are we so joyful about? And my heart is like, oh, it's just so joyful. I have so much joy. And I play with kids all day long. So that helps. So, and then I've just been practicing, okay, don't question it, just enjoy it. So yeah, that was powerful. And I shared that with you. And what did it do to you when I shared it? Or did that do something, or what happened? You know, how how did you, because you're the one who suggested, let's talk about this. I would love to
Yeah,
hear.
I love it. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, I was really resonating with it because I feel like that's sort of what's been happening to me lately because I haven't been working since April. And so it's a long time, right? And it's a whole other story, but like I've had a lot of free time on my hands. And I'm somebody who loves their freedom. If you know me, you can imagine. And I just love waking up and being able to create my day. And if I have to commit to things and have responsibilities and have things in my calendar, like it sort of gives me like a mild anxiety, or it just makes me feel like I don't have my freedom. Um, and so I really just like committing to things. And that mode of like traveling and not having things in my calendar, sort of just like free flowing for like months, 10 months almost, like 9 months. It's a long time. And recently I came here to Medellin, and for the first month, I was just integrating from a recent plant medicine experience. And I've just been in my bed, meditating all day long, going to the pool and just chilling. And now I was like, okay, it's time to get my life together. I've been wanting to do all these things. I want to start dancing. I want to start singing. So I started taking all these dance lessons and singing lessons. And all of a sudden I have all these friends and I have all these parties I'm invited to and all this social dancing. And I was like, I want to practice my dancing. So like Monday there's dance and Tuesday there's dance and this and that and this and that. And so I've been doing all these things. And, you know, I get to a place where I'm tired and my body's tired. And it's like on Monday, I go out to dance out in the park and it's so much fun. And I'm like, I'm going to go every day. It's so much fun. And I'm meeting all these people and I'm practicing my dance. And then Tuesday comes and I'm like, oh man, I don't want to go anywhere. And then on Tuesday at the best dance of the week, so I can make myself go. And I'm like, it's so much fun. And then come Wednesday and I'm like, I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to be out at night. I don't want to dance with anyone. And sometimes even on that Monday, it's just, I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to talk to anyone. But then it's like, no, it's literally like a 5-7 minute walk from my house. I don't have an excuse, right? If I go at some point this week, I should go to that park thing because it's just outside my house, basically. So like, what are the excuses? And you know, and then there's like all these excuses. It's like I plan my lessons in a spontaneous way. I don't have that fixed in my calendar. So I'm like, okay, when do I want to have a class and how many classes do I want to have this week? And because I don't have them in like a fixed way in my calendar, it's sort of like, I don't want to do it. And I'm like, oh, I haven't practiced enough. I haven't, you know, improved enough. What good is it to book a lesson? But then I'm always like, okay, like if I don't book a lesson, how am I going to progress? Right. I'm not going to do my practice and I'm not going to have a lesson. So like, it's not helpful. So just do it, Claire, just do it. And I'm just really at a point where I'm looking at my own resistance and I just see it in so many places. I've just launched my website and I've been wanting to launch my website for like 3-4 years now. It's insane. It's been like 3.5 years, almost 4 years. And then I've sort of given up because I was like, I don't know how to do it. It's so difficult. I don't understand this thing. And now like it really came to a point when I really needed one. And my brother was here and he was talking to me and he's like, yeah, so what about your website? And I'm like, I don't know what the web hosting situation is. And this is confusing me. And at some point he looks at me and he's like, just do it. Like you're literally just coming up with excuses. And I'm like, but like, I don't want to use this because it's like too simple and then like it doesn't have all the features I need. Is like, what are the features you need? Like literally you just want to put like a landing page out. I was like, no, but then like in the future like it's gonna be bigger and then it's gonna be such a hassle to like put it on a different thing. And he's looking at me, he's like, you're literally just coming up with excuses right now. I'm like, I'm not, like this and that. And he's like, just do it. Like you're literally just finding excuses. And I was like, fine. And then I did it, and now I have a website. And like, I think last week, what really hit for me was like, I had an experience like you just described. I woke up on a Monday and I was supposed to have a singing lesson. And I had so much tension, like so much pain in my neck and my jaw. And I was like, I can't possibly go and sing. I can't even move my mouth. I just really, really don't want to go. But I'm not going to cancel on her an hour before our class. So I went and had my class and I came back and I felt ecstatic. I'm really at a point where dancing or singing or talking to people just makes me, I feel high. I just feel like I'm high on a substance. And it's amazing. I was just singing this beautiful song. I was having like an hour-long singing lesson, and then like for half an hour, I'm just practicing this beautiful song. And it wasn't easy, but like it just got me so high. And I came home and I just continued singing for like an hour. And then I like recorded a song and I listened to it back and I was like, oh my God, like it sounds pretty good. Like I think I'm gonna post it somewhere. And I was like so high on that feeling. And I was so glad that I went and had my singing lesson, right? And then the day continues and continues and continues. And then it's the evening and I'm supposed to go like and meet some friends for dancing in the park. And then I'm like processing through some emotions and like I've just been feeling like so bloated for like 2 weeks and I just feel so heavy and I take some medicine and it makes me feel like really heavy and like really dizzy and I'm just like I don't want to go anywhere. Like I can't like I can barely like stand up. I'm just like all over the place. And then I'm like, no, like I said I would go. I'm gonna go. So I'm like, it's probably not gonna be great, but you know, if it's really bad, like I stay for like 15 minutes, half an hour, say hi to my friends, and I come back. So I go and it was amazing. And I'm like talking to all these people and I'm meeting all like these new people. And then I like start talking to this guy and we have like this wild connection. And then he's like, do you want to go for a walk? And then we go for a walk and we walk around the neighborhood for like half an hour and we talk and talk and talk. And like he walks me home and it's just like, and I'm just like, I have all these friends and I'm meeting all these people. And I come home and again, like I'm in this like total high. And I'm like, I'm so glad that I went. Like I almost didn't go. And at that point, I remembered what you said about seeing that one quote and how it just, and, you know, at that point, I couldn't really relate to your experience, but I was like, man, like, it's true. Even if you don't feel like it, just do it anyways. And I want everybody to like see this shirt that I coincidentally bought. It says less perfection, more authenticity. And I was wearing that at my first singing class, and my teacher was like, it's about that. You have so much criticism for yourself. It's not about being perfect. It's about in the singing, she's like, it's about finding your authentic voice. And I feel like you have so much judgment towards like how it's supposed to sound. And if you're singing a certain song, it needs to sound exactly like the singer. And it's like, no, it's about finding your voice and you're going to sing this song and you can sing it differently. And that's totally fine. And I had such a hard time and like so many emotions coming up because I was like recognizing how right she was, like all these judgments that I place on myself. And it's like, it's not perfect, so I can't show up. But it's like, it's not about that. It's about showing up.
Yeah, and it's huge. You talk about singing, you talk about dancing. Those are the two very intimate things that you do with your body. And I've been very curious about this because I'm learning a new thing. I'm learning marketing. So it's been really hard for me to put myself out there. And first of all, to be seen, to be heard, open up my own, find and open up my own voice for everybody to be heard. So I pump into this psychological resistance all the time. And I've seen this thing that we were talk about, time and time again, with reels and learning.
Mhm.
There's all this knowledge that we can learn, but if we have this resistance, the energy that's behind the action is is not the greatest. So we kind of have to like
Yeah.
we get to develop ourselves to pass this resistance. And I
Yeah.
looked into this, Claire, and there's actually this thing I don't know if you have heard, like there is our prefrontal cortex. It's all about decision making and kind of like self protection, you know?
Okay.
And this is the where the resistance is coming from. You know, our brain is wanting us to stay in that comfort zone, you know, this part of the
Uh-huh.
brain. And it is the executive of that. So anything new, the prefrontal cortex is going to go like alarm, 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 self defense, you know, reason this out, don't go there. And this is what happens, you know, this is what happens actually with 3 4 year old kids. And that's why they are having such a
Yeah.
hard time. Yeah. So then there's this other part of the brain, it's the limbic system, and that's about the emotions and intuition. So your one brain, one part is saying, no, 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 don't do it. The other part is saying, yes, 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 go for it. This is your future. And so there is this connection, you know, there's this war going on inside your head. And I looked into that, hey, what is going to help this? And so we are somatic life coaches. We work on our body. We we um we want to know what emotional intelligence does. You know, what is it? You know, we want to get into our emotions and not run away from them. We want to learn and have the colors and the, you know, the experiences, and we support each other in experiencing all of that. So that is a huge thing for human being to have that kind of community or friendship where you can actually voice out your emotions, and the other person is going to support you in feeling through those emotions in your body. So when I looked into this, I was like, oh, I understand why we're going through this right now, because we have been on our inner journey for how many years now? When did we meet?
Like 4 years ago almost.
I mean, we've been on the inner journey before that too, but this is like the
4
body.
years. Yeah, it's been almost 4 years.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So first we were healing the self to self, and then the self to other, and now it's the self to community, you know, and the self to the world, even through the, because social media, it's huge for, you know, somebody to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm just talking about social media. You know, you're talking about the singing and the dancing and the going out, you
No,
know,
I'd
to your,
love you to talk about, I actually wanted to ask you, yeah, if you then want to share a little bit more about your journey with like sharing yourself on social media, because I know you've been through a lot of that resistance, right? And you were like, I'm just like, I don't want to do it, and I'm just gonna do it anyways. And I remember at that time I watched you and I admired you so much, and I was like, I don't know how she's doing it. I want to do that too, but like I can't, like at that point. And like now I feel like, I'm like approaching that when I'm just like, I don't really care. Like I'm just, this and that. And but like at that point I was like watching you, I was like, what is she doing? Like that is brave. And then I asked you and you were like, Claire, you have no idea how much resistance I had. But I just decided to do it anyways.
yeah, yeah. You were visiting me when the cap kind of blew off. And my cap had just blown off just before you came to visit me for the 3 weeks. And before that, I was frozen. I was literally sick
Yeah.
of fear. I was feeling nauseous. I was getting depressed. I was feeling oppression. I was feeling all those lower frequency emotions that would just freeze me. So my prefrontal cortex was just all in alarm, saying, no, 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 danger, danger, danger. You know, danger, there's a stranger, you know, like don't put yourself out there. And it was real. It was real. And
It was
then
real.
it was real. Yes.
You're
And
real.
in the reels. Yeah, it was real in the reels. It really was. But then then there is, I guess it's like when your inspiration, when your why and how much you want it gets bigger than the resistance. Then because I remember I consciously decided I am not going to care. I think you helped me with this too, because you often say things like, I'm not doing this for other people. This is about my healing. I'm doing this for myself. And that's exactly what I took. And I put that into action. And I just literally decided that, okay, I'm going to put myself out there in these reels. I know I'm not going to be perfect. I know I'm going to look back in some years and I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, what was I doing? But I decided that I'm going to be imperfect in my totally lowest imperfections. And through that, I'm going to get better, because if I don't do it, I'm not going to get better.
Right.
So by doing, how we learn to write, by doing it, you write better. How you learn to sing, by opening your voice and singing, you get better. By dancing, starting to dance, you get better. So it's the same thing. Just by doing it, you get better.
Yeah, totally.
So, taking the courage really to be vulnerable and to say, you know what, I'm doing this for myself because I want to find my potential. That's my mission in life. I want to live my potential. And this was just one little part of it. So I didn't want to look back in 10 years and say, Kirsty, you just didn't step into that. Think could be now if you had done this for 10 years, you know?
I know. I love it. For me, it really resonates that like perfection bit. This is really something that's coming through so strongly for me right now. I started learning how to dance in January, right? And it's now nearing the end of February. I posted a video of myself and I was like, well, I'm probably gonna really regret I posted this when I look back on this. But I'm just gonna share it. The post that I'm sharing, it's about the learning process. So like obviously I'm not perfect. And then I looked back at it. Even at the time when I posted it, it took some time, like before the video was taken, and then I posted it, and I was like, this is pretty bad. Like I'm not even dancing. I'm just like making steps. And then I posted another one and I thought it was so good. I was like, oh my God, I'm dancing so well now. And now I look back and I'm like, I'm not moving my hips at all. That this dance is all about moving your hips, and I'm just like literally just like flatly stepping my feet. This is so bad. Like, why did I put? And I'm like, it's okay, And it's like learning to be with that and like be with my own imperfection. When I used to have so many judgments about myself, the next thing was like, I literally only had like 3 singing lessons, and I was like, I need to share my singing. I know it's not perfect. Maybe, like I'll listen to it like a few weeks or months from now and I'm like, why did I ever share this? But what's coming through is like, you need to share this just for sharing it, just to learn how to share things that are not perfect, just to learn how to share yourself in the process and just let go of what people are going to think. Let go of, is this good? Is this bad? And especially, I'm so glad that I have this singing teacher. Whereas like with the dancing, my teacher learns how to dance in an academy here in Colombia. People take their dancing so seriously. Like, you have no idea. Like, they live for this. Like, this is all they do. They just dance and they learn how to dance and they go dancing. And then, like, it's crazy, right? So he's so strict with me. And there's like a certain way to move your body and move your hips and move your this and move this and move that. Like, everything needs to be in a certain way. But with the singing, she's the complete opposite. She's like, stop trying to be perfect. I have this gift. I imitate accents really well. I can like pick up on tunes and melodies and like imitate, people speaking or singing really well. But like it can also be a distortion because then I don't know what my own authentic voice is, right? So because it's like I hear somebody speaking in, you know, with like British English accent and I start singing the same way, even though I normally speak like this, right? I don't speak with a British accent. So it can be a distortion too. So she was like speaking to that. And I was so emotional when she was telling me. I was sitting in my first singing class and I was just like holding back so badly not to collapse in a puddle of tears. I'm like, oh my God. It was crazy, but okay, like she's so right. I get to learn how to be less perfect and just find my own authentic voice, even if I don't really even know what that is right now, right? It's an exploration, and by exploring the depths and the low, like the heights, and like you just get to, it's like you with your reels, right? Like you try some reels like this, and then you try some reels like this, and then you stop making reels for a while, and then you just try writing posts, and then you take a break again, and then you're like, how do I roll? How do I, you know, what's my vibe? How do I want to go around this?
Yeah, yeah. And I think you're bringing a great point of, allowing yourself to have those breaks. Don't freak out when, you're in the flow. Like I was making reels, like I had to hold myself back, actually. I think that one Sunday, when I was jumping in my garden and making those reels, and I think I made like 10 reels in one day. And I was just like posting them because the cap flew open. But then all of a
And you were
sudden,
just like, I'm a vessel.
yeah, yeah. And I didn't think they were so great. I was just so excited. It was like this enthusiasm, the innate enthusiasm was just flying out. And then all of a sudden, I came to a point where I'm like, oh, I don't feel like doing one reel. Maybe I'll never make a reel. And I'm like, what's happening? And then you just relax into that pause. And then you wait.
You
It's like,
relax, right?
yeah, yeah. You just
I'm gonna
relax
stop
into
making
it.
puns.
Allow yourself for that pause, because when you come back, you're actually coming back with more talent. It's almost like a different processor is working. So
Yeah.
you can't just go on, on, on. You let that processor work, whatever it is. I don't know what it is, but it puts everything together,
Yeah.
what you've been experiencing, and then it takes it even to another level. So the floor that you've been becomes, or the ceiling where you have been reaching to becomes your floor, and you go forward again.
Mhm.
That's how I've seen that it happens. And another thing that you were saying there, that I love, maybe I was just hearing, tapping into something, is that I remember I asked myself that, okay, what if I hold myself back? What if I don't take this courage now and overcome this resistance? Okay, yeah, it's about my life, but it's also about people that I would speak to. And, the process when you're speaking from where you are, from that place of imperfection, because I think we're conditioned to kind of try to speak from where we want to be, but we're not there yet. So we're actually creating a disconnection, not just with ourselves, but with our audience, with people. So when we start speaking from where we are through that vulnerability and taking the courage to kind of become naked, to become a human being, to be a human being, because you're speaking to human beings. So you want to connect through that same bridge of humanness. Otherwise, it's not going to be authentic. It's not going to be. So I was starting to realize, and I have been really, like you said, Claire, you said that it's like you feel this high. Oh my God, I've been really feeling this high. I mean, uh, when I started realizing that, I posted one thing when I had a messy floor. I just like, that was intentional. It was intentional for me to post a post on Facebook where I had all my clothes on the floor. And I was just in the middle of those clothes. And I posted that.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's no,
that's
people love
intentional.
it.
Yeah, because I realized when I posted that this is where the power is, because when we are speaking from where we are, where the attention goes, the energy flows. I need all the energy to support me. So I want to speak from where I am so that I will have the energy
Mm.
of the universe, God, to support me and bring me new inspiration and words and flow and enthusiasm, all the good stuff. And that's how my audience will hear me. That's the authentic voice. How can I have an authentic voice if I speak from where I want to be? I'm already somewhere else, girl. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to say, like, I saw you go, and part of me was judging because that perfectionist. Wow, like she's going online with all that imperfection. You know, there's like this judger, and I never told you this, but there's like this part of me that wants to be so perfect. Like, does she even know what she's doing? And then like, this other part of me is like speaking to this part inside of me, like, what are you saying? Look at that. That's like the bravest thing anybody's ever done. That is insane. Probably I'm just jealous that I can't do that yet. And it takes a person, right? To just be like, hi, like this is me and here I am. And I'm just gonna share myself and I don't even give a damn anymore. Or I do, and I'm gonna do it anyways, right? I'm just gonna do it anyways
I
because
do.
something inside of me, there's something. It's just like, just do it. Just do it. You don't even have to know why. Just do it. Right now, like I'm feeling this nudge, and I feel like I want to speak to this. It's like when you feel like you want to do something or you should do something, and I don't like the word should, but it's like this nudge, like do something.
Yeah.
And then, there's all this resistance and there's all these reasons that you shouldn't do it. And, there's all this fear. And then maybe you do, like maybe you're brave in that moment and you do put it in your calendar, right? And then the moment comes and like you're supposed to go to the gym and go dance or whatever, and you just really don't feel like doing it, right? And there's this part which is like, oh, like this just my body doesn't want to go right now. And like, or like I'm not research, which I want to talk about this a little bit later. There's definitely, I think this is very important. If you don't have resource, like don't necessarily force yourself to do things. But then you're like, okay, I'm going to do it anyways. And maybe I'm going to put, if I don't feel super resourced, maybe I'm going to put a little bit less energy. It's not going to be perfect. Maybe I haven't practiced than I should have, but like I'm still going to go because it's better than not showing up at all. And I feel like if you sort of act on these things, even like despite the resistance, you're listening to your intuition, you're listening to all these nudges, and it's like something up there, yourself or whatever it is, that's like giving you this like, intuitive hits or like the nudges. It's like, good, like you're listening. Let me give you more. And I feel like even just for that, it's worth it to listen to these things and go even with the resistance and be like, I have no idea why the heck I'm doing this right now, but I just got this intuitive hit that I should do it. And right now, I really don't feel like doing it. But for some reason, I still feel like there's something trying to guide me to do this. So I'm just going to do it anyways, without knowing why, without like wanting to do it, with all the resistance and all the fear and like all the my rational mind telling me like, don't do it. That's stupid. I'm still going to do it just because. And then you never know what might happen. Sometimes these things start happening. I don't know. I just made this real. And all of a sudden, this person found me, contacted me, and then this opportunity. And it's like, I just shared this just because I felt like it was a good practice for me to do this, right? And all of a sudden, all these things start rolling in a good direction and more intuitive hits are coming because it's like, good, like you're finally listening. You're doing things. You're like grabbing the momentum and it's going somewhere. And I've been really experiencing this lately. The more I act on these things, like with the website, I first got the intuitive hit 4 years ago, start your own website. And then I never did it. So it's like I killed the energy. It was like, nope, like we're not doing this. And it's like, okay, well, I tried to steer you in a direction and you didn't want to go. So like, okay, we're not going. But now I knew I had to do it, but I still had this resistance and I wasn't doing it. And now I started doing it and things are flowing. And like once you start, just even if it's like the smallest thing, like you start, you set off on a certain course, right? In a certain direction and things just start rolling.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all about that prefrontal cortex versus the limbic system. The limbic system, comes with this intuition. You're fired up, this one day. And then the prefrontal cortex next day is all full force, danger, danger, stranger, stranger, don't go into the new territory. So it's really innate. It's something very ancient in all of us. Because when you think about, we lived in caves. The safe place was the cave and all the surrounding places right there. If you went to a strange territories, you could get killed. So this is an important thing to actually cognitively understand, that there is this part of me that is a very innate and an ancient part of me that is real and is very alive today, that is fighting this myself growing and going forward, and passing these resistance walls. So when we get that, we can bring in our goals, that our reasoning, and we can bring our emotional intelligence, so we can take those emotions that come towards that resistance, and we can just set them aside and understand, hey, this belongs to that prefrontal cortex thing, that I don't need to take this so seriously. Like my business coach told me, that just take your emotions out of it and reason yourself to it. And that was powerful.
Yeah, that's powerful.
This is why I love coaches. I love having a coach. And we both have come to understand the importance of having a life coach or a business coach, because I can go where I'm going, maybe by myself. I don't think so, even. I really don't even think so. But, let's say I could. But I can go there with the coach much faster. And I'm actually going to enjoy my journey, because it takes a lot of stress out of it. It brings clarity. It brings that focus. It brings that I myself can put my attention to things that matter. So my energy goes into the things that matter, and all that other stuff is being coached away. It's like a road sign, but I don't know how I got to talking about that, but I guess it's all in the same bucket, but I just love and one important thing is, I mean, maybe a lot of our listeners understand the importance of processing your emotions in your body, because all this stuff is going in our head, but emotions are something that are going through in our body. So if they're in our body, so we're benefiting of staying with them in our body, because the moment we go to our head about our emotions, we leave them. So we're not processing them anymore, and they stay hidden in our body. And it's like old waters, it starts thinking and not producing good things. It actually starts producing sicknesses into our body. So tapping into our body and finding those emotions there. Like, I had to do a lot of work when I started posting my reels. Fear, anxiety, terror,
Yeah. Yeah.
self-doubt, imposter syndromes.
Yeah.
Telling myself that everybody else was able to do it, but I wasn't, that there was something wrong with me, like, okay, where is that in my body? And nobody can come and tell you where it is in your body. Only you can. So you can trust that feeling.
Yeah.
If you feel it in your lower back, that's where it's at, and it doesn't even matter, because next thing you may feel it somewhere else, and you just
Yeah.
follow that feeling
Yeah.
like a river and allow that emotion to get your attention, your compassion, your empathy, your love, your presence, your perception, just tuning in. Yeah. So all of that is the how, how do I get to that point where I go past that resistance? With me, it helps so much to set simple daily goals. Like I took like 3 goals for my morning, and I kept doing those, and they were really simple. So I knew that, okay, I can follow these every day,
Mhm.
just to give my brain that, like you were saying, that schedule, that is not just waking up and floating somewhere, but it has some kind of framework. And through that framework, it actually finds safety. It's the same with kids. Our system, our body finds safety through systematic things that we do every single day. Because once we have done them enough times, our body knows, oh, it's going to wake, and it doesn't even think. But if it wakes up every day into a different day, there is this unsafetiness about it,
It's not, I don't resonate with it, but I totally understand where you're going. But I just, it's not my experience. So I can't reflect back on that, but I totally understand what you're saying. Yeah. And I do agree like that there is a lot of safety. Like for me, at least at current point in time, it's just, it doesn't work. So I guess I just want to be totally transparent about it, that like for me it doesn't work to have routines like that. And I was actually speaking to my client this morning. I was in a coaching call with my client, and they said, how like they don't necessarily have a routine and that they should have or whatever. And I felt called to share. It's like, listen, don't make yourself wrong for not having your routine, because for example, I feel like me and the client were very similar. For me, it doesn't work, and I could judge myself for it, because I know that if I woke up every morning and I knew exactly what I'm going to do, what my routine would be, then it would save me so much time and so much going back and forth. Do I want to do yoga? Do I want to do it right now? Or do I want to do it after I meditate? Do I want to have breakfast first? Do I want to have breakfast later? Do I want to go for a run? Do I want to do breath work? Do I want to spend 30 minutes doing this or 1 hour? And I just spend so much time just sort of like thinking back and forth before I actually do anything, or sometimes I don't even do anything. I could judge myself and criticize myself for it so much, because it is not optimal. It's not an optimal way for me to go around my morning and start my day. But at the same time, I am someone who needs novelty, who needs diversity, who thrives in diverse environments. And that's why I seek out traveling, and I'm constantly learning something new, because it just gives me that high, but not just that high. It's not like I'm trying to escape something. It excites me. It stimulates my energy flows. It stimulates my life force, that excitement, that lust for life. And the more I have that, the more I'm riding, on these like excitement waves, the more energy and motivation I have for anything and everything in life. The more I sort of like stifle that creative, spontaneous bursts of energy, with having routine gives me that like heavy sort of everything like has died basically energetically feeling. So like that really stifles my energy and my creative process. So I realized like, yeah, in many ways, having a routine would really help me. But actually right now I'm seeing how it's not supportive. It's not supporting my creative flow. And I think especially for us women, we exist in cycles, and our hormones changes and energy levels changes, and everything's just like, it's like the feminine principle. It's like all the weather patterns, like all the emotions. It's like we flow and we change, like the weather's constantly changing, right? It's very normal for us to go with the flow as well. Whereas like the masculine principle is more like every day is the same and every day we have the same hormones and like we can just have a routine. Whereas like for me, it's just, I find right now it doesn't work, but I think, maybe if I have more calls and more tasks and like, if for example I got a job that I would have to show up in a constant manner like you do, right? I would probably need to structure my time better, so then I would have no other option, right? But like right now, this is what serves me the most. I just really wanted to sprinkle that in case somebody's listening and they're gonna be like, oh my God, I don't have a routine, so like that's the end all be all. Like it's not like, and like right now for me having a routine is not supporting me, but who knows, like maybe next week something's going to change and I'm going to all of a sudden have a routine that I'm going to follow for every single day for the rest of my life. But like, I just want to sort of throw it out there. Again, don't try to be perfect because maybe also that's not the way that your system operates. Yeah. So I just wanted to sort of throw that in as well.
Absolutely. And I love that, and I'm definitely not rigid, in my routines. They're
Mhm.
kind of like, because I used to be just like you're saying. And I I think it's just a new season. Like you said, I work a day job and then I build my business around that before and after. So my time is so limited right now. It's not I can't say it's limited because it's not limited. I'm not
Mhm.
having any time. I'm just structuring the time because I desire to do so many things with my time. So it's helping me to have that routine, and definitely
Mhm.
no rigidness, no like doctrine around this. No,
Yeah.
not at all. Like it's just it's a perception, and sometimes it works for a person to have that and sometimes not,
Mhm.
sometimes you need to just relax your nervous system and not expect anything of yourself so that
Yeah.
you find that calm and you can find the connection and the safety,
Yeah.
yeah,
Totally.
yeah,
Totally. I think, I think that, yeah, I think there's so much virtue sort of in both, right? I mean, this is the topic that we're talking about here. Having that scheduled in your calendar and having a routine, it's that sort of like, don't feel like it, but do it anyways, and it's gonna be great. There's something that I wanted to speak to. There's a time and a place for everything. I'm not saying that whenever you don't feel like doing things, you should do them anyways. Like, no, you shouldn't, right? There's
right,
times for resting and there's time for like, this is something that both of us are, we're sort of both like in that phase in our lives or like, in our like yeah, whatever, in our year or in our like creative process or healing journey or our business journey or whatever it is, right? But like we're both sort of in a place right now where this has been really supportive for us, something that we sort of fell into and discovered, and it's really working out. I'm not saying that this is the way for me to, maybe tomorrow I'm gonna burn out from all the doing things that when I don't feel like it, and I'll be like, okay, now I need to sleep for 2 weeks, right? And I'm not gonna do anything. Like, I don't know, right? There's stages. So just definitely feel into it for yourself if this is a time for you. Is it my resistance or am I actually exhausted and I'm just forcing myself because I feel like I'm a failure? There's,
yeah.
there's that as well.
And that's why meditation, sitting with yourself, quieting and separating yourself from the hustle and puzzle of the daily life is so hugely important because we're definitely not talking about, taking action from fight or flight. No, we're not talking about that. We're actually talking about taking action from your parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest.
Yeah.
And you will notice that okay, I'm in the rest and digest, but I still have this resistance. What is
Right.
resistance? So it's not like you're just like, oh my God, um, I have to go through this, No,
Yeah.
you come from the calm place. And that's where the practices come in,
Mhm.
having that time for yourself. So you can hear yourself, you start to know yourself, your intuition grows, and you start understanding about your emotions, how your system works, what kind of protection mechanisms you have. And all of that starts little by little bring clarity about who you are and what is of resistance and what is of not. Yeah, hopefully that helps, because I think that was hugely important what we just brought in
Yeah.
to this couple of minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. I think you just gave it, like, you really just sort of added like that very, very important piece that is sort of like obvious to us maybe, but like isn't obvious for other people. I think that was very important. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Beautiful. What are you gonna do now, Kirsty? Any plans for the evening?
Yes, I do. I started cleaning my filter from my pool. So I'm going to go there before it gets dark and let the dogs to roam around the yard.
Well, I'm gonna
But-
go and have my dance
but-
class. Yeah, I was like, I have not been feeling well these days. I've been feeling so tired. And I was like already opened the chat with my teacher and I was like, I'm feeling sick today. I can't come. And then I was like, am I really gonna cancel? And then I was like, let me wait a little bit before I send this message. And then I never sent it. So I'm like, I'm just gonna do it anyways.
There you go. There you go, girl. Let me know how it goes. I know you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I went.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit sick and not full energy, but I think I'm just gonna go and I'm just gonna tell him, I'll be like, listen, I'm a little bit low energy. So it's not gonna be my best performance. I've wanted to do my homework. I did not have the time. I did not have the energy. I wasn't feeling resourced. But I'm here anyways because I know it's still gonna help me. Just, go soft on me today. I'm not showing up with my best, but I'm showing up. I'm here to do it anyways, even if it's not the best. But I just feel like, yeah, like, just a little bit of communication and not having like sky high expectations of myself, but like step by step, right? Like if you improve 2% every day, imagine how much you're gonna improve over a year's time.
And hey, go do what we were just talking about, because that's exactly it. If you tell your teacher right where you are, that's going to release the beautiful energy, come right back to you, to that present moment.
That's it for now, my friends. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you found value in this conversation. Know that you can also follow me on Instagram or read my blog post on clairepoho.com. And if you'd like to support me, you can send me a donation using the link that you will find at the bottom of the episode description. Bye for now.